After the events of the summer in Riccione, Batman returns home. Following Keane's intervention regarding Helen and Cantona's speech, Metzi is rewarded by the King of the Corano with a wooden staff and a wheel of Parmigiano Padano. At this point, everyone, annoyed by this shabby treatment, rises up, screaming primarily at him. The King of the Corano then sends a golden robe, while a knockoff version is sold at the market for people like him. Meanwhile, Hush amasses enough wealth to attempt an assassination on anyone, while Killer Croc becomes a tennis master, and Hugo Strangelives by preaching religion. Batman, adopting the persona of a heterosexual priest, at least according to his own creed, wanders around stealing Strange's cross. Strange declares him insane, forcing him to fight everyone. He faces a choice: remove his mask and reveal his identity, or continue living as an idiot in the Navy, killing everyone for the sake of a dead writer's beliefs. Undecided, Poison Ivy gets a boob job, and rushes to his aid, lying about her past, but he discovers he's been cuckolded, and decides to spend his money reshaping his ears to look like horns. Everyone wonders if Hector Ballerina is actually Batman, but he does the exact opposite. A female banker takes Batman's measurements, and a stubborn man declares he can believe anything, loving Batman only if he doesn't recognize him, and believing he can subjugate the woman. When she calls him gay and takes offense, he seeks respect from other men, who tell him to go cry to women like a gay man. But wherever he goes weeping, Batman steals the women away from him, so he starts setting everything on fire. And the kind of fascism that appeals to a disabled woman, perhaps because she is perceived as having secured her position through connections, has returned. Hospitals are catching fire, and those who didn't save themselves in time will never see the sham legal innovations demanded by the envious, who covet that official status, or by those who merely pretended they could do without it. Hush showed his mother, and of that envy swapped her own and his identity as a leader only could try to normalize, but ended into Freud book, and so envy is Hitler and fascist. The first major work, where, in their spare time, everyone gets called Batman instead of blacks or fascists, all because the aim is to push psychology, anxiety, and stress, prompting people to admit they waste money on the wrong meds, or, since they're articulate enough to say that, could just avoid talking about psychologists altogether. Otherwise, they could have happily minded their own damn business instead of acting like human switchboards. And the response you get is, you mind your own damn business, living as if Tupac's money printing machine were actually debt, or just waste. Wayne Enterprises starts running again, but only for buffoonish pursuits. Most of life becomes about being targeted by attacks involving phones, lights, 5G, and the like, because everyone out there has to look like Mephistopheles, and the fashion trends screw over anyone forced into a defensive stance. That's how Freud gets normalized without a court of law. Otherwise, they'd be dragged back to reality by the balls, forced to confront their lack of personality and the resulting rage, and envy directed at things they claim not to care about, even while they contort themselves for the camera to show off and discredit others' misfortunes, hoping only for their deaths. So, they all stand clean and, above all, amused beneath Batman's cross. The first major text, where every action triggers an equal and opposite reaction, against the very people who criticize others, the same people who want camera filters meant only for women, or just for bros. The first major book, where a woman emulates a male and a male mimics a psychologist, because they hate the courts of losers or wanted to passively endure injustices behind masks, validating Freud and Jung through passivity or coercion, during fake drug deals fueled by coke, while fingering themselves and spending all their time plotting against others instead of focusing on money or kidnappings. Let me know if you like it, share, comment, feel gay, even loudly, and think about your mask and your Freud book. After all, having two of them doesn't change who you are.